AGI, where AI is able to reason higher than human beings. And so the possibilities are just endless.
Now, isn't that scary, Prof?
It's not.
Exactly.
It's not at all. I mean, and that's why I was telling you that the net effect of these is positive job increments.
Okay.
It's just the dynamics of how you prepare yourself. So educational systems and training systems need to change to accommodate these things. But I don't think it's scary at all. And I always make the analogy that AI is not here to replace the human being. It's here to make the human being efficient.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. If you were a lawyer and you were supposed to go through case law for 100 years to represent your client who may be good on death row, remember, the sitting is in maybe 3 weeks. 100 years of case law, where are you going to get it? But AI can skim through that and give you the most relevant things that match your case.
Right.
And you can save your client if he's innocent. I'm not saying he's innocent or not. But what I'm trying to say is that that's the kind of assistant he's talking about. The assistant is able to do a lot more than you can imagine. So that's how I view it. So it's not scary. I view it as, I remember I did some work at Temaport where when the new port came up, they brought in something called the Gentry cranes and RFID technology. RFID technology is another type of AI technology which reads your car number plate to check whether you have an appointment or not before the gates open for you. So there's no human being
who come and
boss over 100 be ma, over 50 be ma. There was nothing like that, you know. And it was an appointment system, simple. When you get in there, the system reads your this thing and then it checks.
But somebody just lost his job.
You see, has someone lost his job? No. I think that someone also has gained a job.
Right.
So I was talking about Gentry cranes. Anyway, let me use that. In the old Temaport, you need to sit on a crane and manually operate it. What that meant is that women were eliminated automatically.
Right.
But with the Gentry cranes, they are PC, sometimes even on your phones.
You can control it.
And you are lifting tons and tons of weight, cocoa, timber. Just so. Yes, the muscular guy, bole guy who used to sit there may need to upskill to be able to stay in the job. But remember that there's a young girl who is coming from the north, who all of a sudden, by the power of the internet and by the power of technology, is now able to participate in maritime work. You're getting where I'm going with this. So I don't think that the net thing is going to be a positive increment in this. What is required is that we understand the skills that are needed to succeed in an AI world.
Okay, you mentioned reskilling and upskilling. You may want to just tell us what exactly those things are so
reskilling is horizontal.
Okay.
Meaning that you may need new skills to be able to function in your role.
Okay.
I'll give you an example. As an academic, at first we used to go to the library. Right? And make a query from a catalog. Physical catalog in the library to get a book. Now I must learn how to reskill myself to make a query online with ChatGPT, with Otter, with whatever meeting assistant. I need to be able to make those queries. So I need to learn new skills to complement what I am doing. Upskilling, however, requires that you go up and learn skills that are higher than what you probably know now to be able to function in the world. And that's what I mean by reskilling and upskilling.
All right. Okay. We're going to come back to AI. But another key trend in the space today is blockchain. What is it?
You want to go first?
Well, blockchain, it's how I put it. So blockchain is basically another technology that started before AI. Unfortunately or fortunately, it did not get the steam that AI is getting. I think that probably it's just the fear of control, because blockchain comes to neutralize the playing field where in the past you have control being centralized. With blockchain, it is decentralized. So banks cannot just be a control organization. You can have financial transactions on a decentralized platform, and it is verifiable. Everyone can see it. Everyone can read through it. You don't need somebody's password to get to see if government is transacting business with another country on the blockchain. It is supposed to be true and fair, and I should be able to have access to see what is happening. Right now, you won't be able to do that with blockchain. You should be able to do that because of the decentralization.
I see.
Yeah,
Doc, you want to touch on that?
I think blockchain's main challenge were that its early innovators failed us. Yeah. If you look at the Bitcoin and crypto world, some of the people who initially led it had crisis. You know, there was a Canadian case where the guy had died and then they could not find the
was
keys.
like that.
So people's investments were locked. So that didn't help the thing. And then number two, we must also understand the political economy of our world.
Right.
Look, if you decentralize at the minutest level, power structures change.
Okay.
Control changes. And we live in a world where people must be controlled. So you must understand those are some of the crises that blockchain had. But blockchain basically was about blocks of data that moved from one point to the other in secured encryptions, basically.
Right.
That enabled people to do business on several levels. So the idea of people being able to fake and change their information from one point to the other, or information decay occurring, was very minimal. And that gave power to the citizens.
Okay.
But that's a problem. Because if I'm the government, I'm not going to like that too much. So that's that. And of course, in every system or social system, there's got to be hierarchy. And so maybe that's why it didn't live up to its promise. Unlike in the case of AI, where they need to train the algorithm. So citizen participation was very critical. And that's why AI seems to have gotten off and everybody is using AI.
Right. What exactly is Web3?
Web3, great one, complex and complicated. It is also a way of building applications on blockchain.
Okay.
So most of, so if I come back to AI, right, most of the AI tools are built using OpenAI, Gemini, or Llama, or other AI models, right? So you build these applications on leveraging AI models from, reputable organizations like OpenAI, Google, and others. With Web3, you need a blockchain infrastructure to build that. It just helps you to further build decentralized applications, especially financial applications. So we call it like DeFi, decentralized financial applications and other tools. It's just much easier on Web3 because the good thing is that with Web3, you can leverage the blockchain and connect it to existing infrastructure that we already have. So it is not just being in the blockchain world, it is just linking the two, which should make it the adoption much quicker and easier. But I don't see that also pulling the steam as it's supposed to be. But that is really where Web3 comes in.
Now from your conversation, it looks, are they competing? Because I think they are all separate things, isn't it?
Well, they're supposed to work in synergy.
Okay.
That is how I see it. But
Okay.
without that synergy, there is going to be disjointed organization.
Right.
Yeah.
I think just to add to that, from a market perspective, look, all ideas are competing for space.
Okay.
So multiple variations of the same idea emerge. I mean, when you started, you talked about Blockbuster, Netflix, but even you forgot Real.com.
Yeah.
And the analogy you gave about payments and those things, you remember when we used to rent bicycles and when your time was over and the man would collect the point is that in any market, there's a competition for ideas.
Right.
So these are competing for ideas. And so you see that little tweaks and variations begin to occur and they all come with different names. But really, what is it? It's just technological change that is occurring. The question is which one will gain prominence. And as it is now, the AI is the one that is leading the pack.
Wow. Okay, so another trend. We're going to come back to all of these things. We'll go into details. We have some time.
Okay.
Another trend is quantum computing. Quantum computing. I've seen it a lot of times. I'm sure some of those who are listening to us right now have also seen it. What exactly is quantum computing? Let me start.
You go first with that.
I mean, quantum computing is emerging from the explosion of data.
Okay.
traditionally we did not have a lot of. I wouldn't say we didn't have a lot of data. I'll be cautious in saying that I'm an academic, but I should say there was data that was not being curated.
Okay.
But now there is so much data that's being curated. So the question then is, how do we begin to use a lot of these data? And that's where quantum computing emerged. So people are beginning to store servers with clouds and clouds of data that can be mined.
Okay.
But that one, big data analytics then begins to emerge. In fact, a lot of the training that is being used on AI is emerged from quantum computing.
That is very correct.
Because AI needs to be trained. Most people think that AI just emerges. No, AI needs to be trained, and a lot of that data is coming from quantum. And where is the quantum data coming from? It's coming from the purchases you make at the mall. So even when you go on Amazon and you are buying, it keeps making suggestions to you and those things. So it's AI leveraging the data of people who have bought certain things and then beginning to make some suggestions to you on that.
You want to touch it?
He's put it right there exactly. And quantum computing is supposed to help analyze vast amount of data, just as he's put it. But with AI in the case right now, I'm looking forward to seeing how that fighting for space because AI is really leveraging quantum computing, but doing it in a point where, as an individual, you feel you are in control of instructing AI to produce whatever you want. Quantum computing, it's not just open to the general public. Everybody cannot have access to it. So that is the difference. And I still see AI winning that game because I felt I can just go in and tell it to do something or help me achieve something without really learning anything. I will type in English or any other language. So it's just the user friendliness is what is empowering AI to be.
I'm going to just chip in on this one. So you see, and this is where I see the synergies between AI and quantum computing or quantum data. Maybe not the computing, but the quantum data. Because AI, what makes AI easy is that you don't need to learn code. But in quantum computing and quantum data analytics, you need coding language. So either it's Python, Aura, Gradle, large Stata, SPSS. You need to. So it's not the click interface anymore. You must learn how to code. And that is years and years of what? Experience to do that. AI simplifies all of that and says, type it in normal text language. I'll convert it into a code, go into the data, mine it, and give you the information you want. And that's where I see the complementarities occurring. Because the challenge is that otherwise, sometimes we've had situations where AI begins to dream. And that becomes problematic. And AI dreaming, if you are not someone who knows the information also, you may miss it.
Right. Okay. So we're going to come back to all of that. There's also what we call sustainability in technology. And then we also have the 5G. Which ones, what can you say about any of these? I don't know. You just pick one and then Doc will also pick one. Then we can continue. 5G and beyond?
Sustainability tech. All right. So I'll pick 5G just because without a stable and sustainable internet infrastructure, none of this will make any sense. You cannot use AI without an internet. And if you don't have stable internet at where you are, even in Accra, some part of Accra, still the internet is really slow. 5G is an enhancement on 4G. I would take that any day. So I think it is in the right direction, and it is all here to empower us to make that change. All these things are helping us do whatever we already do it better, faster, and basically better and faster.
Better and faster. Okay, Prof.
I mean, 5G sustainable technology. I think that what is sustainable? It's anything that wins in the market. They say that the victors tell history, and I think that the issue of sustainability is very relative, and my wife is going to kill me on this because she's an environmentalist. But I think that it's whatever wins in the market, and I think that these things are going to be sustainable if the market accepts it. And currently, those that have been accepted are going to go on and be perfected. What I see is that they will be replaced by newer things. It's human nature. Look, we used to cook over stone, dry, and now we came to the wood, and then we made stove, the charcoal, then gas, and now electric.
Right.
We're moving on. Right now, we have what? Air fryer. So things would only change and get better over time. As for the skeptics, I mean, Nokia told us poignantly, we did nothing and we died. So I think that is very instructive. One of the quotes I like very much says that a man may move himself, or a man may be moved by a king. That man may move himself. He may also decide to stay where he is. But in both cases, there's no guarantees. So you're better off moving anyway.
Right.
You get it. So I don't think that, the skeptics about 5G and it's from the devil and I mean 666. Look, I mean, as a young person in the year 99, when we were told Y2K. I don't know if you remember Y2K.
That the stone is going
to stone. And they said all numbers have ended because at the time, computing at the time, the numbers was going to end 1999. The concept of 2000 wasn't there. 2K. So we needed to reprogram all computers. And I remember back then, the world is coming to an end. And I remember a woman and the family, they sold everything, ate everything. The next day they were alive.
And I think that was what happened in some way to 2020. People thought that was the end of the year.
Look, there will always be people who come up. Skeptics are part of the world.
Right.
When Jesus Christ came, is he not Joseph and Mary's son? There will always be skeptics.
Right.
But I think that the early adopters and the benefits that the early adopters gain is what matters. Look, a CD is a CD. How you earn the CD legally, it doesn't matter. So anything that enhances the bottom line is what we are looking to work with.
Wow. Okay. So if you just tuned in, this is Business Breakfast on Z101.9 FM with me, Raphael Nitrebi Hammond. And having a conversation with Professor George Acheampong and Chairman James Akpo. We are talking about technology, what to expect in 2025. Now, James, AI has dominated the conversations. Yes, and you rightly, you just rightly alluded to that fact that AI has dominated the conversations. What are the most significant advancements in AI this year?
One just happened about 24 hours ago.
Tell us about it.
Yeah, OpenAI. For AI, one of the issues we've had with it is memory retainers, right? So you can say something, close the app, go and come back and still, okay, I want to continue the conversation we had 3 days ago. Can you remember when we spoke about this? It should be able to remember everything. Now that is possible.
Wow.
Right now, you don't even have to just think about how to type something. If you have a phone and you can take a picture, or you have a picture on your phone, you can actually upload that into AI platform and ask it to tell you about that picture or image.
Right.
Let's say you're an artist, you draw, and you have drawn something for someone, another client is interested, you want to make variations to it. It just makes your work very easy. But apart from that, this year, especially in developing economies, because like the US and the other places, we already seen that happen, and I've done that for multiple clients. Right now, we have agentic AI, where AI is able to perform tasks on your behalf. Right now, you're hosting this show. If somebody sends you an email right now, who is going to check it for you? You can have your AI assistant be checking that for you. Okay. Your job is to host a show, not to be checking emails or calling people to show up on the show.
Right.
Your assistant or AI should be able to help you. We want to empower people to do what they do best and just focus on doing that specifically,
Wow. So those are some of the major, the significant trends that we have seen in AI. Doc, Prof, do you have some to mention?
I think the applications are immense.
Right.
And I usually want to focus on things that emphasize me or things I work with. One of the things is that, for instance, I do a lot of meetings.
Okay.
A lot of meetings. And look, my AI assistant attends the meetings even when I'm not there.
Yeah.
Takes
Really?
notes and summarizes it. Where my name was mentioned, highlights it. Action points I need to perform, it lets me know.
I see.
Where I need to ask questions, and I was not in the meeting. It's in my calendar. So immediately the meeting is up, it attends the meeting. That's, and even when I have a physical meeting, I can put it on record. It will record, summarize, transcribe, give me action points.
Wow.
And grades the quality of the meeting.
Okay.
Says that this meeting was not efficient, this was efficient, and scores it.
Wow.
That's what it does for me. That aside, I do research. I can have data. And I look at the data and I say, okay, I'm not sure which theoretical direction I should go with this. So I input a portion of the data. It will give me all the options and say, I think that this is the direction you should go. Then I will take it up and query it a bit more and build on it. It will even tell me which literature sources I should deploy. That's the power of AI. Now, to some of my clients, I work with a lot of SMEs and young people and related.
Okay.
Look, when they come, you want to draft a little contract between you and someone. You input it. It gives you a basic template. Then you can edit it quickly. And if you give it, the more details you give it, the better the contract you get.
Oh,
So then an SME that cannot afford a lawyer doesn't need a lawyer.
okay.
You get it?
Yeah.
And it can have contracts in several forms. You're looking to do a proposal to a bank for a loan. You input. And remember, if you've been chatting to the AI for a very long time, kind of has some data. So immediately you talk, it's able to generate that proposal quickly to fit.
Right.
So instead of going for a business development consultant, you have this.
Prof, so you mentioned your AI assistants and all of that. Do you mind telling us what AI assistants those are?
Maybe
Is there
you should
something-
I was even going to
go
add
for
to
it.
that, so
Okay.
maybe this will answer your question.
right,
So, on our website platform, iSenseHub.ai, when you go there, there is one phone number there. The phone number, when you call, it's not going to be answered by a human being. It's going to be answered by an AI assistant, an AI agent.
Right.
It speaks like you want it to speak. I can literally clone my voice and train it with my voice. It will speak like I'm speaking. I can use any other voice, speak like a human being. So when you call, it will tell you whatever question. Let's say you want to buy a product or you don't even know about our services. It will take you through everything on the platform. We have a huge platform, so many products and services. Apart from that, if you need to book an appointment with any of us, that same AI on the phone call will take the details that you gave it and book the appointment on your behalf. It will go ahead and send you a text message for you to rate its performance. So like say you're a business, you want to have a lot of reviews on Google or Facebook or whatever it is. You want people to give you 5-star review and things like that.
Right.
That AI is going to be perfect because it's been trained on your business data. It knows your business better than you know it yourself, right? So after I give you that performance, it will ask you to rate its performance. And if you agree with, okay, I can send you a link on Google. I'll send you my Google review link. It will send you a text message. You click on it, the link opens right on your phone, and you give it a 5-star rating.
Right.
Your business owner, now you're getting more reviews on Google without you doing anything. I am on a show right now. All I will see is there's an appointment notification on my phone that I have a meeting with a client in 2 hours' time. AI is that able assistant. I can train it to be my social media manager, where I give it a content calendar for one month.
Right.
Every day, 2 a.m., I want you to go and post something on my Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter. It will do that. On our platform, there is a way to train your AI personally. Everybody has access to train their own AI. So we call it brand. You just train it with your brand, your website, what you do, your scope of work and all those things. So when you're asking question, you don't have to give it that detail again. You have cut about 60 or 70% of the work is already done, and you have to do it only once. That the efficiency we are talking about, that is it.
Right.
It is about attending to customers' needs at all time. If you have a business right now, let's say you're a consultant, and your business is not running 24 hours. The president is talking about 24-hour economy. It's been there long ago. It might not be in Ghana, but other developing world. Okay. AI will make that happen a little bit much easier. You just need a customer support line and your business is 24 hours.
Wow. Okay, so that is for business. I like the thoughts you guys are sharing, and it's making the conversation even more interesting. Let's talk a bit about the blockchain, all right? No, but before that, maybe AI. You are speaking about research, and that's in education. And then you also spoke a bit about business. You also mentioned SMEs, at some point. How is it affecting finance and healthcare? Can we talk a bit about that? How is AI affecting finance? What are the things that, are influencing these industries?
Okay, I'm going to give you an example with AI. So I run an innovation space.
Okay.
And one of my students in infectious pathogens and virology designed an app, basically, that has been trained to look at a skin pigmentation and indicate the likelihood of getting skin cancer. Purely AI driven.
Yeah, wow. Exactly.
And it's unbelievable, the technology behind it. And so I asked the guy, how do you get it? He said, look, I have tons and tons of African data on skin relationship to skin cancer. And he did it. Yeah. And it's the AI that is driving. So they keep training it with more and more and more data. And it gets better and better. The last time I checked, he said they had reached 80% efficiency. And they are looking to build it to about 99%. So in health, it's doing fantastic. I don't know if there is any others, but AI is going to transform. View AI as an enabler.
Yeah. Right.
I mean, once you view it as an enabler, there's no economy, no system that AI cannot play a role in. Yeah.
And to add to his, right, look at telemedicine. Right now, when you're sick or you need to see a doctor or a nurse, you have to physically go to a clinic or a hospital. But it's not everything that is really necessary to go to the hospital. You should be able to speak with a medical professional using an app because they've already collected your data. You've been there before. Okay. They have all your genetics and everything. Right. If you have a headache, they can really tap into the system, leveraging AI to make recommendations to you without you moving from your house. You know, these are some of the impact that AI seek to bring into the world. Apart from healthcare, I know agriculture is another one, and maybe we'll touch on that as well.
Yeah, there's a lot happening. I mean, I think it is what it is. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So Delpy just joined us in studio. He's a digital creator and a tech content creator. How different are they? Digital creator and tech content?
Digital creator just summarizes everything. I mean, tech content is just the niche of it, because as a creator, you need to have a specific niche you're built around.
Right.
And tech is the niche, so it's just a sublet.
Okay, great. So we're having a conversation on tech trends to expect in 2025. And we have spoken extensively about AI and how it is an enabler and how it is helping businesses and all of that. I want to go into businesses really, even more closely. But how are you doing? Sorry.
I'm good. Just Accra traffic and stress, you know. I'm great.
We understand. All right, so let's get into the conversation on how AI is helping businesses. Now, how can SMEs prepare themselves very well for the change that is happening in the world of tech? Maybe Delpy, you want to, if you have something to share, you can. Yeah.
Yes. So basically, we know, like you said, AI is an enabler, and the main function is to promote effectiveness. Okay. So as artificial intelligence, what it's going to do is to make our work easier. Instead of having to do the normal dirty jobs the dirty work, you just allow AI to handle it for you. So it makes it much more easier for you to focus on other stuff you probably have time for.
Right.
One thing people are mostly scared of is the fact that AI is going to take our jobs, AI is going to, replace us and stuff. And even though that is the possibility for businesses, it's much more of an enhancer for businesses to look at than focus on it taking your job.
Right.
Because most of the AI platforms or AI services or systems we have in place need human access. Human beings need to operate it for it to work. We as a business, let's talk about chatbots, for instance.
Okay.
So a business owner would initially have to pick calls from a number of people, every time having to answer calls, talking to people manually, but needing to also have to provide inventory for whatever you're selling or whatever you're dealing the business in, right? But you can't do this alone. You'd have to normally involve other people by employing people, which is, more cost. But there are chatbots now, and these would probably have been existing for some time now, but just because now AI is a thing, we're all, having a fair share of what it is. But chatbots have been existent for a while. So what you can do with these chatbots that are powered by artificial intelligence is to allow them to respond to your customers, right? It's not going to be as effective as you would naturally, but what it can do is to save you some time off, to let your customers or whoever you're dealing in the business with know that, at least you'd come receive some message at the end and then know how to respond immediately. Now this cuts down the time for you to process other stuff, work on them, and make sure you get them efficiently, as well as attending to your customers and not leaving them hanging. Because let's be honest, and then the person is not responding, you're sending so many messages, you're not getting responses, you move on to a different clients. Right. So basically, that's one avenue the SMEs can look at.
Right. So, but what steps should they take, right, to adopt and identify relevant technology AI in this particular world now?
Awesome. So this is something I've actually written a book on. So the steps we have to start with first having a needs assessment.
Okay.
You have to examine your organization, or your business organization, look at places or sections where you have repetitive actions being taken. If you have someone whose job is to take one thing from one place and put it at the other place, you don't need that. That is not value creation.
Right.
If you have a product or service, your goal should be to add value to it. And everybody that is working for you should be adding value to that product or service. Having a customer call, doing sales and marketing is not value creation. Building a product is value creation.
Right.
But you need those things to make your product or service go out there to meet the right people. So do that needs assessment and see how you can empower your team by helping them, by taking away the repetitive tasks, making them focus on the more strategic things.
Right.
So once you have that needs assessment, you can, if you can't do it yourself, you can partner with a knowledgeable company that is into AI or technology. They can help you do that needs assessment and give you product recommendations and help you with the implementations.
Prof.
Whilst he was talking and whilst you asked the question, I was just reflecting and thinking about the women in Medina Market.
Yeah.
And asking myself, if you look at the Ghanaian economy or most African economies, majority are informal.
That's true.
How can they benefit from AI? Is what was ringing in my head. I'm not sure I have the correct answers, but I think that it offers, that's where the combination of the web, the AI and things can come. Right. And social media, I'm very happy Delphi is here, can help leverage on that. Today we are buying from a lot of those people from social media. Yeah. So the question is, can AI begin to help them with their social media and then also take the orders for them and deliver it on their phone? Because now a lot of them have smartphones and deliver it on their phone, so they know as soon as he wants to buy this at this price. And for me, what then is necessary is just a change of mindset.
Right.
I'm going to use TikTok as an example, or maybe let me even use WhatsApp as an example. So my mom, when I was, every day she'll be like, oh, come and show me how to do this. And they wondered why I was always laughing. But once I showed her how to use TikTok, sometimes it's 6 p.m. she's forgotten she's not made dinner. What I'm trying to say is that maybe it's just the exposure and awareness to the very basic, because we make an implicit assumption that everybody is lettered and everybody's at a certain level. But I don't think that's the case. And so we need to give all those people the chance, explain it to them in practical ways that these people can also participate. So that it's not like, because what is beginning to happen is that it becomes like a millennial generation alpha context.
Right.
That is being played. That is being played in that sense. Thank you.
Yeah, and can I add one more thing? I think to add up to that, right? Couple of it was just like yesterday, last night actually. I have a friend. She's been following me for a long time. I mean, sees all my posts and things like that. She makes African print clothing. She is very good at doing. She could design these things and make it look so beautiful. I was checking her WhatsApp status and she posted all these things. Actually, somebody she got a contract from someone and so for all these people for their wedding. I look at this and I was like, wow, this is so beautiful. So I tested her. Do you know you could be selling this globally, right? Without lifting a finger.
Right.
And he said, if you're interested, let me know. And then she replied, I'm so interested. But she's been following me for 1 year. She's been seeing everything I post about AI and how to revolutionize industry. So some people think that the cost involved in leveraging these technologies are very huge, that they can't even afford it.
Let me give you the term. Oh, we they say namafu you know the way they say it. Oh, namafu no hotel mo na mo bibia mo mpe bibia e bibia ojan the phone. So you know, so it's that mindset shift that is needed to revolutionize things. Because I can tell you that if our parents can accept this, there is no limit to which they will not go to push this to their kids. And you talk about your friend. Can you imagine AI creating a catalog for that person?
Right.
And posting that catalog and pricing it. And it's a game changer all of a sudden. If I look at the women I work with in Krobo Dumasi who make beads, look, they sell the beads for 10 cedis, 20 cedis. But there's a corporation called Global Mamas selling it in the US for hundreds of dollars.
Right.
So, but AI can create that catalog for you, post those catalogs, and then link it to your bank account. And people buy it and you have your money.
Right.
And it can tell you which ones are the best-selling ones, sort of do a data disaggregation that helps you to be able to do all of that. Who is buying where, what are their characteristics? All of those things are information AI can support you with.
Well, so how can businesses leverage these technologies to gain a competitive advantage, especially in this challenging economic climate? Delphi.
Education, exposure and education. Most of these things, like you said, they are not expensive, but people have the perception that acquiring some of these things are quite expensive. If we're going around, and this is something I wanted to do last year, but I couldn't, going around schools, these things are not really taught as much as possible in schools for people to get educated on the idea of these things. So it's much more easier to learn some of these things online. Everybody has a smartphone now. I don't know who doesn't. Even if you have a YAM, you still have a smartphone on the side. But we need to leverage on these things to understand how the technology works, what it's more about, and how one can take advantage of that. But doing that is to expose yourself to these things, right? Get knowledge in it and understand that it's not probably as expensive as it is. ChatGPT is free. There's a free version and there's a paid version. But people are leveraging more on the free version of ChatGPT to build code, to edit code, take out bugs from these codes, to get prompts. Sometimes it even replies my emails for me.
Really?
So when I use a free version, I don't pay for it. I can pay for it actually, but I feel like what I'm using it for doesn't require me to pay as much as possible. Right. So you can leverage on these things by not having to spend so much. Of course, there are instances where you'd want to pay more. For platforms like HubSpot and the rest, especially for your business, you'd have to pay a fee. But if it's going to benefit your business in the long run, I think you should take the chance and do it. So they're not expensive. It's not like they're not expensive. They have expensive tools, let me be honest with you. But they have more affordable ones that could suit almost every business. You get it?
Yeah.
Small scale SMEs are like more on the small scale level. They're now coming up, right? So you'd want to not spend so much money on things that would end up, crippling you or sending you bankrupt. So just a bit of research, more of understanding how these tools work, education, and then practicing it.
Right.
I mean, I want to piggyback because I come from entrepreneurship and innovation, and this is why I want to talk to the youth.
Okay.
Look, that informality, the informal economy, the farmers that we have, those with yams. And you say a lot of people don't have, I can tell you a lot of people have yams. Because in the rural areas, they are not connected, but they have great products, great services.
Yam as a mobile phone.
Mobile phone, yam.
Because when you talk about farmers, you talk about yam.
Okay, mobile phone, yams.
Okay.
So this is where the youth can serve as aggregators and market connectors and create jobs for themselves.
Right.
So if I know 10, 20 seamstresses in my neighborhood, I can take their catalog, the things they've done, take pictures of them, post them, create a web platform. People make the order, I take from them, I supply, I earn a living.
Right.
Without lifting a finger, just by the power of these tools.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
So those are very basic things that young people can leverage. And these are the things I am passionate about.
Okay.
That instead of just being on social media, commercializing those things, basic things. Yeah, you know.
And that's something James is very much passionate about. James,
no, he's eating. When he's saying that, it's like I'm eating because it makes no sense to sit in Ghana and still have educated youth unemployment. It makes no sense.
No, Unemployed Graduate Association.
But they are no more.
It makes no sense because you're on Facebook all the time, you're on Instagram all the time, all the time. And the beautiful thing is that you don't even have to create a product or service yourself. Like he's saying, we are a productivity-powered platform. We have something called affiliates. You can literally, like as you were saying, you can go to whatever take an order from the person, send it to the company so they can do it, and you get about 25% commission. Let's say you get an order for $1,000 and you get 25% of that is $250. If you convert that into CDs, you should not be unemployed. If you can read, write, and you have a smartphone or a computer, it makes no sense.
Get into tech, eh?
It's easy.
Right. So let me come back to Delpy. Now, are there specific industries? Now, still on opportunities for business, are there specific industries and regions that stand to benefit the most from these trends in 2025? Delpy.
I mean, I don't think there are specific industries that about like my professor was saying. Maybe the people who wouldn't benefit as much would be those in the rural areas who aren't really exposed to technology. So those would be an exemption. But I think as long as you have a smartphone, right, you fall under the category of being a beneficiary because, like I keep on saying, it's out there. Everything is out there, right? I'm a content creator, right, and I didn't go to school for this. Right?
Okay.
I didn't go.
What did you read in school?
I am a laboratory technologist by profession. Yes. I was a quality control analyst at Voltic. So I didn't go to school to learn how to create content online or do anything. Right. It was through self-taught learning and understanding. Okay. That's why I keep on saying that I don't think any industry is specifically more of a beneficiary. That's my perspective. I do think though that to a certain, dissolved instance, there's going to be some industries that would highly benefit, like maybe the tech industries, people who are more into fintech, people who are into, other stuff would have a much more high advantage. But now we are privileged. Knowledge is everywhere. It's easy for us to get access to some of these things. So it depends on how you pick it up and use it. And that's why I keep on saying that you'd only lose the job if you don't find the tool that would complement the job you're working for to know how to use it and apply it in your job. Right? Everybody is using, I would always use ChatGPT because it's the basis of everything. Everybody is using ChatGPT, knows how to prompt, because before you can even use generative AI platforms like ChatGPT, you need to understand prompt engineering. Now, your workplace is requiring you to work more efficiently. Instead of having to compile so many files, documents, respond to emails, and do all that with so much time, you can quickly just go onto ChatGPT, allow it, prompt it the right way, and then get the result you want, and then you just need to copy and paste. You'd have to do proofreading, right? Okay. But generally, you just have to, most of the time, if you check through, you edit the stuff, and you're good with it, just copy and paste it. Saves you so much time, right, to do other work. So I don't think there's a specific industry that is beneficiary. Again, fintech and more people in the tech industries might have a first-hand exposure to most of these things before anyone else. But so far as you are picking up the tool and using it as much as you can efficiently, you still stand a chance of winning.
Okay. So what are the skills that are very essential in a tech-driven workplace? What are the skills?
Okay. Still leveraging AI. Now the requirement is basically, it's not even there any longer. So, for example, Delpy was talking about how to prompt or communicate with AI to get the kind of result you want. And people think that prompting is you have to go to school to become a prompt engineer to be able to use AI. That is not right. Okay. If I were to be your assistant or a business partner, I work with you. if you wanted to instruct me or ask me to do something for you, give me an assignment, what will you do? You will say, okay, James, I would like you to write a report to ABC. I want you to probably do this. Just say it just like you're speaking with me. Say that to the AI. And you don't even have to know how to type. It has a voice command, so you can just put the mic on and say it. Right. This thing is not hard.
Well, this is still Business Breakfast on Z101.5 with me, Raphael Nitrebi Hammond. And we're having a conversation on what tech trends to expect in 2025. And I'm joined in studio by Professor George Achampong, Chairman James Akpo, and then Delpi. Emmanuel Obobifianco, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right. So we're coming to the end of the conversation. But really, what emerging technologies should we pay more attention to?
Well, let me go first. AI is still emerging, even as it is right now.
Okay.
It is still emerging every day, new things. So we being developers, we just can't sleep, because by the time we wake up, there is a new functionality or capability that is available. So what you have to do is think about, okay, with this functionality, what can I build with it? Right. So AI is still evolving. Internet of Things is there. With internet, AI, and blockchain, the future is great. It looks great.
Okay, there'll be.
I didn't know he was a developer. He was like in the building space.
Yeah,
there was this idea that came in mind. As into programming and stuff, you look at problems you could solve, right? One thing I realized is most people want to buy tech. Okay, they want to purchase things, but they want to do it on hire purchase.
Yeah.
And I only know one company here in Ghana that does that. So because it's already, I can't really mention their name. But I realize it's a technology they use to get people to purchase their stuff and still get their money back. Because let's use the Momo loan as an example. Or how do you call it? Quick loan. Yes. People just get a SIM card, use it for a period of time, be able to pick a loan. They just pick the loan and then dump the SIM card. So imagine having to leverage that on tech, right? You give somebody a smartphone and then they say they pay small. They pay to a certain percentage and they don't even pay back.
Great.
But this platform actually has a system built in their phone, on their phones.
Right.
That gives you the chance. So the payment plan is like pay an amount every day till you are done, or every month till you are done. Depends on which one you go for. But what happens here is, if you don't pay, let's say you're paying on a daily basis, and you don't pay for a specific day, every app on the phone is locked.
Okay.
Yeah.
Every application is locked.
Yeah.
You can't use any application apart from the app that allows you to pay.
I think I've seen that. I think I know that company.
You get it? Yeah. And this is a smart way. We can find out that even though it would have to do with some form of machine learning, and there still is a bit of artificial intelligence in there if you look at it critically. Yeah. Because how will the phone itself know that this app or this person hasn't paid?
Yeah.
So let me just log these apps.
Yeah. Right. I mean, we did a program, I can't also mention specifics, but where we gave laptops to some young people.
Okay.
But in return, you were supposed to complete a course program in digital literacy. And if you did not complete it, we just locked the PC out.
Oh.
And to unlock it, you needed to bring it back to us.
So you're forcing them to learn.
You get it. So, and it's a very, it's not super, it's something that has been around for a very long time.
Right.
So we're just triangulating the data from the course website and connecting it to the firmware of the PC. I mean, for me, I think that, and maybe I'm looking at it from impact or consequence of new technologies, and that's where my interest typically is.
Right.
I am not particularly like James, always looking for the new things per se, but I'm beginning to ask questions around how do you begin to leverage these things for empowerment.
Okay.
And those are the kinds of things that I'm interested in. And look, we've done it across multiple platforms. There's a platform that we use to farm maize, connecting banks, financial institutions to market in 90 days, and all the service providers, and everybody gets paid in 90 days.
Wow.
And there's no cost, not a cost to the provider, and everybody eats, if I can say that. Just leveraging technology, because it signals the the guy who has the tractor, that it's time to go and plow the land, the seed supplier, the irrigation system guy, everybody is connected. And then by the time the product hits the market, everybody's bank is credited.
That is automation and optimization.
Simple. Very simple. And whenever there are bugs, we find ways to fix them, and then we improve continuously. So I think that technology is here for us. And as young people, we have an advantage. We were born, not BBC, born after computer, BAC. So we should be able to learn.
Okay, so just before we go, unfortunately, we probably might have to do, producer, we might have to do like a part 2 of this conversation, because there are more things. We want to talk about the ethical considerations. We want to talk about some of the specifics in line with the AIs and all of that we have to learn. We could even go into the blockchain and all of that, because the conversation was very interesting. But just before we go, I know, Prof, you have something coming up. You have an event coming up.
Yes, I have a radio program coming up. In 1 minute. Yes, and basically the program is to empower the youth to leverage things like this to create jobs for themselves. Because the idea that there are no jobs, there's no money is ridiculous. The opportunities for young people are immense. But I think that they have to learn themselves, build themselves on their own. It is not what you learn in school that makes you money. That's one everybody must put in their head.
Okay. So when is it happening? When is it?
It's on Thursdays, Z, at between 2 and 3.
2 and 3. Thursdays.
And we are starting on the role of higher educational institutions to support young people. And we'll present opportunities that young people would get, live opportunities that they can leverage.
So this Thursday, make sure you tune in at 2 o'clock to 3 p.m. Next week. Next week, Thursday, yes. 2 to 3. Prof. George Acheampong will be here to tell you more about how you can leverage these technologies. And Delpy, you also have a program coming up.
Yeah, so it's the Z Tech Show on Wednesdays. Starting from the 29th at 1 o'clock p.m. I'll be talking more about technology, obviously, and share insights on how to use your smartphones, laptops, tips and tricks. Generally, anything about technology that could help make the lives of each and everyone easier.
And starting on 29th, Wednesdays at 1 p.m.
1 p.m.
So please, if you're listening to us on Wednesdays from next week, we're going to have conversations with Delpy, Z Tech, right, and then Professor George on Thursdays. Youth Link, right? Very, very important. You know, Z actually seeks to promote young people with the businesses that we are doing and all of that, and we are promoting technology as well. So you don't have to miss these conversations. Now, James, finally, I want you to talk to businesses in line with embracing technology. What businesses should do, and then help you talk to individuals, and then Prof, you talk to government.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, business owners, let's talk. Your prices are based on the cost that you incur. If you are able to optimize your processes, your cost becomes lower. It means your prices will drop, or else you make more profit. Which works, that is what business is for. As James Akpo, what we do is tailored services. I'll come into your business, look at what you're doing, look at where the bottlenecks are, and try to remove it, optimize your processes so that you don't have to do a lot of the things manually. Focus on doing what your core values are, which is producing products and services.
Right. Okay, Delpy, individuals. Talk to individuals.
I always push for this, that you always need to make sure you leverage on the technology you have in your hand, right? It's one of the best things you could ever come across. And unfortunately, some of us weren't lucky to get this when we were in school. So now that we all have these things, we should just make good use of it, and then not only make calls with it, but also explore the advantages of it. Some people just get these new iPhones, these new smartphones just to flex with it, but there's more power it can offer than just using it for pictures and basic stuff.
Right. So use it more, beyond all the things that you're doing now. Okay. Prof, talk to government for me.
I think government has started well by renaming it the Ministry of Communications and Digital Technology. It's a step in the right direction. But I think we need to move beyond the semantics and move into the action. And what does it? A lot of our schools and secondary schools do not even have computer labs. That's the starting point. They do not have access to internet. The access and cost of internet is ridiculous. In fact, I put up infrastructure in my house to set up internet for myself, to have high-speed internet, and I was paying in excess of 15,000 cedis. How many people can afford that? So that becomes the prohibition.
Right.
So I think government should work to make internet a bit more accessible and cost-friendly to a lot more people, and make these available in the junior high schools and the senior high schools, so that it becomes second nature. Once this becomes second nature, all the other things shall be added, if I can say that. Yes.
All right. So, gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Unfortunately, we couldn't continue the conversation even deeper, but we hope to have you again some other time. James, thank you. James is into AI, yes. So if you want to check him out, jamesakpo.com.
Right?
Yes, you can check him. And Delpy is on Instagram at Delpy1. Yes. And then Prof, George, you can also reach out to Prof on social media. And that brings us to the end of today's show here on Business Breakfast on Z. Thank you very much for spending your morning with me, Raphael Nitrebi Hammond. I hope you've enjoyed the insights, the updates, and the conversations as much as I've always enjoyed bringing them to you. Don't forget to join us tomorrow morning at exactly 6 a.m. for another exciting show. Until then, as always, stay informed and stay inspired. See you tomorrow.